Dan North, chief economist at Euler Hermes, joins us from Singapore. Dan is rated number 4, by the way, on Bloomberg's list of 65 top economic forecasters. Dan, good Monday to you. You predicted 50 to maybe 100,000 jobs to be added. We got a big fat zero. What does this say to you about the U.S. economy and really for the rest of the globe?
Well, it was really, as you noticed, an abysmal report. When you get to negative job growth, which we're very close to now, it means you're already in a recession. So to see it down at zero is very worrisome, especially when the expectations weren't that big to start with. And there was a lot other in that report that was disappointing. The revisions were very much negative, as was wages and hours worked. So it's a scary report, to be honest with you.
Yes, some are saying it is rather scary, considering we had the revision downwards of 58,000 jobs as well from the last few months. So, recession, we're already in one in the U.S., is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I think we're skating very close. I think as soon as you see job growth go negative, see employment is a lagging indicator. So if you're at zero, it means that the economy has basically stopped growing, which we also saw in the GDP numbers, 0.4 in the first quarter, well, it was 1 in the second quarter, but the consumer, again, scary, very close to zero in the second quarter. So unfortunately, these pieces are coming together, and it's a pretty negative picture.
Yeah, okay, so the chances now of recession better than 50-50, is that what you're saying?
I think so, yes. In a qualitative, it's always hard to put a number on a probability. It's almost kind of silly, but my thinking is it's getting more and more likely all the time.
Okay, so what's the telling signs then that we are going to be in a double dip in the U.S.? What are you closely watching it for?
Well, again, employment perhaps is the biggest thing. If you don't have a job, you don't care about GDP or ISM indices, that sort of thing. Unemployment is the only thing. Well, we do look at other stuff like the ISM indices, and they were great a few months ago, and now they're about at 50, which means a contraction. We look at oil prices, which operate with a lag. In the last 2 years, they've been really quite high, dragging on the economy, and the yield curve in particular. Although it's still relatively steep, it's going the wrong way, and that is upsetting. On top of our housing market, which has just been decimated and shows no signs of life at all.
Yeah, that's been, I guess, dead for a while, some are saying. So, Dan, if the chances of recession are better than 50-50, what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to definitely get something from the Fed?
Oh, I think we're going to get something from the Fed. I think people misunderstand that the Fed is out of ammunition. It's not true at all. He could stop paying interest on reserves. He could go to QE3. He could move the maturity out. He could start buying mortgages again. There are a number of things that he could do to continue to stimulate the economy. I think a great idea would be to, like in the recession when we had the asset lending facility, a small business asset lending facility. That's, again, as we all know, is where the growth is. So if the Fed could do that, that would be tremendous. Plenty of tools still there. QE3 probably coming in the next couple months.
All right, so I guess the onus right now is on the U.S. president, but can he actually be effectual when he has a Congress against him?
Oh, that is it. You hit the nail right on the head. He's got a couple of ideas he's coming out with. The tax cut on the employee side, the payroll tax. That's good. That might help. But then he's going to want to go to infrastructure spending, green energy spending, job training spending. Republicans have had enough spending, and they're just not going to go for it at all. So the president's in a bad way. Really, what could be done between the president and the Congress is come up with a plan, a solid plan to reduce debt over the next 10 or 20 years. There's nothing there now. It's total uncertainty, and that really hurts.
All right, Dan. Well, thank you for your time and your insights today. We really appreciate it. Dan North of Euler Hermes joining us from Singapore.